And also keep in mind, she didn't go on the fantastic journey with the last dragon to gather all the shards, and she learned the power of friendship because he became friends with the other nations. What is the word? It is the Lord Third, your number one trash player, aka the Garbage Goat, aka Jackie's Bay, aka I found the last dragon, and I wanted to ride it into the sunset, but instead it burned me, and here I am, speaking to you, telling you never to ride dragons again. And I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend.
The King of Dreams, looking so mean and clean. The Black Dragon, looking here, doing nothing but carrying a full wagon. I don't know. We'll keep bragging. I got sitting here with the boys, sitting here with all the toys, and we are
the Sly Guys, delivering the hottest of hot takes on all things nerdy and culture. And the nerdiest things in culture right now are Disney.
The House of Mouse, baby.
Yeah. Oh! We're talking about a lot of Disney-related stuff today. Some new things, some older, not some kind of new things, some new adjacent things. But we got quite a bit of Disney stuff to talk about today. And if you've not figured it out, either by the title of the podcast or anything that we just said, one of those new things, new-ish things, is Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh, I thought about Raya and the Last Airbender. My bad. I downloaded the wrong video. My fault.
Yes.
Start over. Indeed. I gotta go watch this movie.
Raya and the Last Dragon, one of the newest Disney animated films, was released a few months ago to mixed reactions. Some people really enjoyed it. Some people were kind of meh about it. I don't remember hearing too many people who saw the movie and were displeased with it. So, as per Disney, they did a pretty good job. It was the average, But it came out a couple months ago. I saw it with a group of friends when it came out in theaters. A shout out to that crew. And King saw it recently on Disney Plus, which we will be talking about.
It's finally out. It's finally out for free.
Yeah, if you have Disney Plus, right? Now, we have our thoughts, and we're gonna run through this. Going to give a quick summary. I'm just going to read off the description of the movie, and if you have not figured it out by now, spoiler alert, because we will be talking all about the plot points of this movie. So if you haven't seen it, you should not.
You've been warned.
You should probably not watch this episode. You should probably not listen to this. But with that being said, we're going to jump into it and give our thoughts. But basically, Raya and the Last Dragon, it is set in this world of Kumandra, which is a place where humans and dragons live in harmony. However, when sinister monsters known as the Droon threatened the land, the dragons sacrificed themselves to save humanity. Now, 500 years later, those same monsters have returned. And it is up to a lone warrior named Raya to track down the last dragon and stop the Droon for good. So,
I might have misheard you, because it sounded like you said long ago all the nations lived in harmony. Everything changed
when the Droon attacked.
When the Fire Nation attacked, and only one person capable of bending all four elements could stop him, but he vanished. 100 years later, my brother and I found the new avatar, Airbender named Aang, or I don't know if I heard. For some reason, what you said, that's what I heard.
That is what I said.
Weird.
That is what I said. That's
what you said. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. I'm not watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep. Bro, we literally. So with the group of people that I was with, some of us when we walked out and we were talking about the movie. Some people were literally like, "Yeah, I was getting like heavy Avatar vibes from the movie." There was some correlation. I was like, yeah, it was pretty wild because the YouTuber Lindsay Ellis got canceled because she compared the movie to Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'm not going to go into all of that, but it's just,
she told the truth. She told the truth.
Right.
Look, YouTube, try and cancel me. Disney, try and cancel us. Look, we know what you did. We know what you did. We got 4 nations: Earth, Fire, Water, Air. I got 4 freaking pieces of Kamandra, bro. Like, I got freaking Talon, Spine, Fang, and Tail. And Heart don't count as a nation because, shit, that's the Avatar. That don't count. That's basically Kyoshi Island as far as I'm concerned. I saw what you did there. I know what you did. You ain't slick. Look, try and cancel me.
Oh,
Look,
boy.
I'm not even saying you're wrong for having done it. I'm just calling you out for what I saw. Because Avatar: The Last Airbender is great. I'd copy it too. But it feels like it's like one of those students that, got another student to copy their homework and say, "Hey, can I see your paper?" He said, "Yeah, but make sure you change things." That's what the situation feels like. Yeah. Like, and my 100%. paper as Avatar: The Last Airbender got an A+, and then yours got like a C.
No, I would say it got like a B.
Actually,
a B+.
Based on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a solid B, but it ain't no A.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not the original. Yeah, for sure.
It's not the original, and the teacher knows that you copied it. Yeah. But he can't say nothing. He can't say nothing because it's just a little too different.
Right,
say it's the same thing.
It's different enough that it's the same thing. You changed up a couple of adjectives and adverbs here and there, but the idea is the same.
I was waiting for them to start bending something. Like, I thought they were gonna bend, maybe not elements, but like they have like some sort of special weaponry, like Fang bends the sand or something. Like, I don't know, something where it's like they couldn't make it more clear that we're not Avatar, but we are Avatar at the same time. Like, I was waiting for that to pop up.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. But we're going to talk more about it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about the visual quality of Raya and the Last Dragon because Disney is the Square Enix of movies. In that, that everything that they do is going to be visually amazing. Like, they're known for their animation, so the movie is going to look good. I would be surprised if Disney released a movie and it looked bad visually. And the same is true for Square Enix. Even the things that they just publish, even the things that they don't develop themselves, like Balan Wonderworld, it looked great. It looked like a well-polished game. It looked like it was going to be fun. It was not fun. It was absolute dog poop, but it looked great. And the same is true for Disney movies. So I don't even judge the visuals of Disney movies anymore because it's almost like I've come to expect it. So because of that, they really have to rest on the story and the quality of the narrative that they're telling to really make it happen. Sound design as well. Like, you've got to really bring those things together. And once you look past the beautiful visuals of Raya, that's when you can really judge the quality of the movie. So basically, as it was said in the description, Raya is tasked with uniting the pieces of like this dragon shard that can chase the Droon away. The Droon are like these dark, evil, shadowy forces that bring decay and turn people to stone. And in the very beginning of the movie, Raya is from one of the 5 nations in Kumandra, where her people are protectors of this dragon heart thing, this dragon crystal, the dragon gem that the dragons left behind to protect the people from the Droon. and her dad is the biggest optimist in the world. Like,
dog, he's worse than Optimus Prime, bro. Like, this dude. First off, my biggest problem with him is he's the only guard, and he's training his daughter. So by the end of the first,
his daughter, who was like 6 or 7, she was like 10. Yeah, she was like 10.
10 or 11. So after she completes her training by putting her toe on the stone, getting by him, she's now a guard too. There are 2 guards in the Land of Heart that we know of. Now, I'm not saying they don't have other warriors, but they sure as hell didn't show me any other guards or warriors in this freaking land. As far as I know, it's his daughter and him. Shoot. This man is so optimistic that he left the most important item that keeps the Druin away unguarded, unsupervised, and invited all the nations together for a party. Don't get me wrong. This man was trying to bring Kamandra back by bringing the nations together.
Yep.
But my guy, you mean to tell me that you're gonna leave your vault open? You mean to tell me you're not gonna have your most sacred jewel on watch?
Right.
On lock? There's only 2 guards. It's him and his daughter. So when Homegirl got betrayed, when Raya don't trust nobody gets betrayed,
yeah,
it's only her defending the orb until Father gets there. And when all 5 nations, other 4 nations pop up, it's just those 2 trying to fight off all these people. Where are your men? What are you talking about? Who lives here? I thought you had a job to protect this place. You got the 2 of y'all? Get the fuck out of here. You're on some bullshit with that. This is 2 of y'all sitting there just like, we got this. Y'all ain't got shit.
Yeah.
Like, look, if anything, it's y'all fault the stone got broken anyway, because y'all sitting here playing games only having 2 guards. And this is after you trained his daughter for 10 years. Before that, it was just him. It was just him. Get the hell out of here. So, I'm surprised Fang and all the other nations didn't try to steal this thing before.
And this is the thing. This one of the things that annoys me about the intro, though, is this. Because I've said before, I hate the villain whose plan is, I'm gonna anticipate my enemy's actions or, their plans or whatever. And so much so that things are gonna work out. So, basically, the Queen of the Fang, because there's Fang, heart, tail, spine, claw? Talon, yeah. Talon. 5 nations. And the Queen of the Fang, like the overlord of the Fang or whatever, she basically, her plan rests on her daughter befriending Raya and getting Raya to take her to the place where the dragon gem is and launching a flare so that they can pinpoint her location. Like, how did you plan that in advance? Like, it's established that the country, like the different nations don't talk to each other. The different tribes don't talk to each other. So, one, how did you know that he even had a daughter to begin with? 2, how did you know that they were going to be friends? 3, how did you know that she was going to invite you into there's too many variables in all of this.
On top of that, how was it that your daughters are the same age? You planned that? What? Because I didn't see Raya's mom, like, at all. Did y'all just plan that? It's like, oh, they had a daughter, we gotta have a daughter now? Too many things going on, man. And they could have had spies. They probably had spies.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Y'all didn't show us that, though. Because all I know is that if one place is going to be blamed, it's going to be Fang. Which we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that for sure. But
so what you need to remember, basically, is that it's Fang's fault, and not just Fang's fault. It's Namari's fault, because
it is 110% Namari's fault. And for all those people that are typing in the comments right now, oh, her mother put her up to do it. Her mother did this. Her mother did that. Look, I get it. Your parents can have a massive impact on how you proceed. Cool. You don't gotta follow all of it. on top of that. And that comes very clear later in the movie when the Mori's at least 16, 17. I was a teenager too. And I was actually disobedient as heck. So, no. Do not put that in the comments. She was doing her mother's orders. Cool. Her mother should feel even worse. But still, you know who did that? Namori. I don't give a crap. Burn all Fang down, bro. Burn it all down. I blame them too. I lost my sister. I lost my mother. I lost my father to Fang. Not the Droon. To Fang. Fang did this. Fang's new Fire Nation.
So, then, like, some years later after this disaster strikes, because basically the dragon gem is broken. It basically it falls off. First of all, it just falls off the pedestal and it breaks. Like, what kind of all powerful gem is that? It just shattered because, like, the Chaos Emerald is like broken by like the Guardian of the Chaos Emerald punching it, or like some immense power.
Strong as hell.
Yeah, some immense power. Nah, they just dropped it off a shelf. You mean to tell me that that's all it took to undo the protection of the world was for it to just fall off the shelf?
Dude, can you imagine if in Dragon Ball that would happen to Shenron if they dropped a Dragon Ball and it just cracked? Like imagine that. They dropped the Dragon Ball. Those things have been through hell and through.
Bruh, when in Dragon Ball when they make their wish, they fly in 7 different directions on the planet and just land somewhere. They just crash into something.
Dog, like if imagine if it was just like this Dragon Gem, them motherfuckers be in the pieces. You would never see Shenron ever again. Or even in Lord of the Rings, that ring couldn't be destroyed by anything else but the fires of Mount Doom. How is your trump card so easily broken?
How is your trump card basically a piece of fine china? Like,
dog, freaking Yugi's Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh! Was more durable than that shit. And that shit fell in the water.
And it was literally a puzzle. It had pieces.
It had pieces, bro. That shit has been. It had to be smashed. Some dude had to literally take it and smash it against something. This thing rolled.
I would have been
by accident.
I would have been hella frustrated if the dragons came back. That would have been the first thing on my mind if the dragons was like, why didn't you make that much? Why didn't you make it stronger? Like that's just terrible.
We gotta talk about the dragons. Dragons. First off, the dragon design I think is very great. The Eastern culture, the Eastern influence really came through for the dragons, and I really enjoyed that. Especially with the natural mythology about their powers that came through as far as controlling rain, mist, shape shifting, stuff that was more popular in Eastern mythology instead of the old, classic fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah.
I liked how Shisu was more of a beast than just some super-powered, angry monster dragon thing.
Yeah.
It made it awesome. These dragons, I feel like, has to come back and said, like, how did y'all fuck this up so badly? like, spoiler alert, and we're gonna talk about the endings and stuff like that, but when everyone comes back, even the dragons this time, because now the humans fully trust each other. Somehow. Okay. Whatever. Dragons are back now this time, instead of the first time when it happened. And no dragons have questions like, how long have we been asleep? 500 years? What? What happened? What? CCU did what? And the humans messed it up? Man, fuck these humans. The fuck? Oh, now they want to trust each other? They're the reason the Droon exists. Get the fuck out of here. Nah. Cancel them. We ain't bringing no water. We ain't bringing no food. Kumandra is canceled. We done. The dragons are moving on. We were in stone for 500 years. I missed loss.
And y'all broke our gym?
Y'all broke our gym on some petty shit. The
he invited y'all to dinner and y'all broke the gym?
It's about trust. And y'all broke trust? Y'all broke the apocalypse a second time? No, Y'all ain't worthy of our presence here. Y'all ain't worthy. Us dragons are out. Commander don't exist no more, man. This is a desert. We're taking the water with us and everything. Like, nah. We ain't rolling with this. And, wait, hold on. Oh, on top of that, you killed Sisu? You killed Sisu? It was an accident. Accident? What happened? He had a crossbow pointed at her and Raya.
What if I accidentally kill you right now? Like,
right! Like, you killed my sister. You killed my sister. You canceled. Bro. Sorry, human. I don't trust you. The Droom can have y'all. Turn y'all into stone motherfuckers. And what about us? Like, what about you guys? I got a dragon gem that can reverse that shit. Fuck you. I don't need humans. We dragons made the stone. I don't need you. Like, you killed my sister, but you brought her back. I don't give a fuck. Like, look, I should have to bring her back in the first place. It's your fault to begin with. You should never have killed her. She's only trying to look out for you. Like, you killed her anyway.
Goodness. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Sisu is like the most she's cool. Like, she's like most trusting person, most laid back, character in the entire movie. She's like, no, but we gotta trust them though. Like, how else are we gonna bring the world back together if we don't trust people? Blah blah blah. Like, the entire theme of the movie, and and that's the thing. Raya gets betrayed one time because she was stupid. Like, Raya gets betrayed one time because she was stupid. And but she can't trust nobody else in the world. Now, granted, I understand that you brought doom and gloom upon the entire world that one time that you got betrayed. But you mean to tell me that you can't trust the boat, like the captain of a fishing boat? Like, come on, my dude.
Who's the child, by the way?
Right.
Now, there's other children that come up in this movie, that are much less trustworthy. Those in the comments, but
yeah, you talking about Boss Baby?
Yeah, Boss Baby. Yeah, because no one's talking about how fast this baby is for being like 1 or 2 years old
and not having like any muscle mass, and half of their bones don't exist yet.
This girl's doing flips, man. Like, I don't know what they putting in that rice, but I want it. I want it. But Raya, don't trust nobody. Last Dragon.
Also, also at this point, she's like 5 party members deep, and she still doesn't trust anybody. Like, come on, son.
Which, look, I want to understand where she's coming from, because she was really crushed. Like, she must have had no friends up to this point.
Yeah.
Like, no friends, because Nomori, which we're going to talk about in depth, because I find her the most dynamic and interesting character, and the most bullshit character as well. The character on the most bullshit as well. Excuse my language. You guys know what you came to see. I always talk this way. But in that 6 years, she has tug her Appa, essentially, and then she has Shisu, and then as her party grows, like, you see this barrier of trust, and you're sitting there just like, only one person betrayed you.
Yeah.
What happened in that last 6 years that really made you hate everyone else? Now, don't get me wrong. That probably had a traumatic effect on her, because that might have been her first only friend. But if that's the case, I have more questions. Who was in Heart? Because if we have no guards, we have no children either.
Also, it's shown at the beginning of the movie, like, Heart is basically like a utopia. Like, they got fruit, they got fresh fruit, water,
party going on.
Yeah,
they're the most protected if the Droon ever come back, which is why they want to steal it anyway, because they're afraid the Droon's gonna come back. Heart's the place to be. Why is Heart not the most profitable nation in Kumandra? Like,
they are.
But you mean to tell me that Raya never had another friend? Like,
right.
Where was Raya's number 2? Where was Raya's number 2?
Well, they probably got turned to stone when when the Droon came to life in Heart.
Well, what about before that, though? Because you mean to tell me that Raya's first friend is Nomori? That's her first friend? That's her first friend? Get the fuck out of here. You live in the heart of a dragon. How are you a dragon? Like, they use the term a lot in this movie. I'm a dragon nerd. What? Everyone's a dragon nerd. We know dragons exist. How are you a nerd? Why are you even made fun of a thing that we know exists? Why is that a thing? We literally guard the sphere that saves everybody. How are you an outcast? It makes no sense.
I want to make this point because this is the thing that bothered me the most about the movie. Is that Awkwafina is fine. Awkwafina is cool, but why did they write some of the cringiest dialogue for her?
I felt like she tried to ad-lib it sometimes.
I don't know, man. It could have been, but they had choices of what they could have kept in the movie. She referenced pop locking at one point. She was just.
Oh, that is true.
She was just referencing a lot of stuff that in 2 years that it's dated now or it's cringy now. And
it's dated a week ago.
Yeah, and it's bruh, who wrote this? Was this a 50-year-old who was well, what do you think kids sound like, Tom? What do you think kids sound like?
They talk about popping and locking still, right? Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, I was
no.
My dude, y'all couldn't. How much money did y'all put into this movie? You couldn't afford a better script than that?
They put in way too much money on some of this stuff. And let's talk about Shisu. What? How did you like Shisu totally as a character? Now, besides her terrible references, how did you like her role in the story? Her as a character? How did you like her?
I think Shisu, when Shisu was an important part of the story, she was great. She was good. Now, I understand that the whole thing was she's got 4 older dragon siblings that are much better at all their abilities. And they decided to trust her with the fate of the world.
Dog, when she said, when you are on a group project, you don't do any of the work, everyone else does the work, and you turn it in. You still.
That's another. By the way, that's another one of those references. That's bro, what?
It makes no sense in the context of the story.
They got
schools now.
They got capitalist universities in Kumandra. Is that what they got? They got Kumandra University. Is that how it is? Word,
dog. We got people. We got degrees out here. Degrees out here.
I was bro, what? I was when I was, and that, keep in mind, that happens in that reference is made in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And so it only goes downhill from here.
Yeah, because it takes you at the movie because you're thinking the audience knows what that means, but Raya has no idea
some of the audience knows what that means.
Oh, right, because most artists hasn't gone to school. Ooh. We still love y'all. But
it's just weird because I'm sitting here watching the movie. I'm oh, this beautiful fantasy world, it's fantastic elements. What's gonna happen? Well, when you do a group project and you turn in blah blah blah. I'm bro, what?
And that means you have teachers. You have a grading system that's similar to our U.S. grading system because I don't know how other countries work, but this is set in the East.
This is it's a fantasy world.
Right.
I'm not.
You could have said and done anything else that could mean the same exact thing, and you chose the laziest way to describe that. Maybe the best way you could think of, but that means you need to hire better writers.
I feel like they just looked up different memes and different they looked up TikToks and stuff like that, and was what are the kids like these days? They got a meme. A Pinterest board that they go to.
They throw a dart at it. Look. All right, so today we're gonna hit this meme. Or try and incorporate this group project. You'll figure it out. Come on now. Sisu was part of a group project to take out the drone. I thought it was one dragon. Well, there's actually a whole lot of dragons now. Well, yep. Weird, but how do we put that in the story? Well, let's make them all stone. Let's make them all stone or something like that. That way they can worry about one dragon. It's the last dragon. Oh, like the Avatar. No. It's not Avatar: The Last Airbender. It sounds like Avatar: The Last Airbender. You literally have last in your title. Nothing has the last. Last Dragon, Last Samurai, The Last Jedi. Like, look, a lot of things have the last. But who has Raya and the last? Like, no. But look, for Shishu, like, she made a lot of references that were pop culture references that wouldn't make sense in the context of the story. And what I did enjoy about her, the actress name is Anna Tafiri.
Aquafina?
Right? Aquafina? Wow.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but...
Wow. What did I say? Anna Tafiri?
What the fuck?
What was that? Wow.
That sounds like the villain of a that sounds like the villain of an anime.
It does.
I am Anna Tafiri, of
the
darkness.
That doesn't even... Yo, type in the comments if you want us to write that character for a story. Anna Tafiri, I'm keeping that one. But Aquafina, like, I think she did a pretty good job as playing the optimistic character because Raya made it a point to say, you're just like my dad and his optimism. And they really wanted to push that point. Because the scene where she's trying to buy everything on credit, but has no idea what credit is one of the most adorable things I've ever seen in a Pixar movie in a long time. Because to me, it was so cute because she's genuinely trying to do good, but literally stealing from everybody.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand that she's stealing. Oh, I'm buying it on credit. What do you mean? You don't have a job. You're never going to pay this back. You're a freaking dragon.
Yeah.
What were you going to pay us back with? Fish? No, man. I take Dogecoin. Like everyone else in this pop culture reference. Get the heck out of here. No.
The credit thing was another thing. I was like, what?
That's a pop culture reference. That didn't exist at that point in time.
That just seems like like I could see, like, if someone was like, yeah, like, you know, what do you have to barter? And then she's just, like, giving, like, random junk that she has, like, you know.
Or she thinks it's junk, like her dragon scales or something. Like,
yeah.
They could have easily wrote that to where, like, she sheds and it's trash to her because it's, like, her hair or whatever.
Yeah.
But to humans, it's very valuable to have dragon scales because dragons don't exist anymore. And she's just paying people with that. That scene could have been completely different and had the same result where it's like, how'd you get all those dragon scales? And the crazy lady at the end where she puts her in the forest?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, where'd you get all those dragon scales? You have, like, a lot of them. Like, how do we know these are real? Dragons have existed in 500 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why we have to go to credit? Disney, why haven't you hired us yet to be writers on your movies? Because I can really do an Incredibles 3. Like, I can really write that for you. And it'd be better than Incredibles 2, because as much as you are the Square Enix, you also are the Square Enix of sequels, too. And we'll get into that one later. But y'all know what I'm talking about as far as it looks gorgeous. The story is dumb as shit, though.
Yeah. I will say that, like, I think Shisu's character was endearing. I just wish that they wrote her character better.
100%. 100%. Let's talk about the supporting cast. They're pretty... What did you think about them? What did you think about them before I go into it?
So I think that of the supporting cast, I like the nice little kind of... It was kind of like an RPG party, right? Like you know, you in a JRPG, you go to a new village. You know, go to a new town. You have a micro adventure there while you're trying to do your overall quest, and you meet someone new. You add them to your party. That was kind of the format for most of the movie. You know, Raya would go to to the different nations, and to get their shard of the dragon gem, and she meets someone in that place, and they become friends. They become members of the party. And what is this? You're finding out you can trust people. We'll come back to that later. But I think with everyone, I thought that the supporting characters were pretty cool. Like, you have an enterprising boy who runs a kind of a fishing boat or a boat restaurant kind of thing. where his family was turned to stone by the Droon. You meet a baby, and what was it, like cats or something like that?
No, monkeys. They were monkeys.
Yeah, it was a baby and like 3 monkeys that were super mischievous, and they were super mischievous, and they were kind of tricksters and whatnot. They joined the party.
You know they're going to come with some kind of short film to expand on their adventures as the little girl and the monkeys.
And then you have like the big, initially like scary haggard warrior from Talon, who you actually find out he's the last person from Talon because everybody else is gone, including his family. Like you find out that he had a kid, and like his family disappeared, and he joins the party too. So you have this cast that joins Raya and Shisu because they want the Droon to be gone, and they want their life, their families back. So all these people have lost their family to the Droon. I thought that the side characters were pretty interesting. I thought they were. I thought that each of them had some good scenes. I thought each of them had some good moments. Honestly, I thought the baby was kind of funny. I know some people didn't like the baby as much. I thought the baby was funny. I like it. I didn't like Boss Baby. I'm just gonna put that out there. But there is something funny about like subverting expectations and seeing this baby working with these 3 monkeys, tricking fully developed humans into like giving up stuff. Like that was kind of funny to me. So
I mean, like, if people have a problem with Boss Baby, which they didn't, they should have a problem with this. It's a baby that can move, and to her credit, she uses the monkeys in very creative ways to.
It was like Isaac using his night creatures.
100%. It was
in Castlevania.
She maneuvered far differently when she had her monkeys around, and it made it more endearing because as good as parkour as she was, it was the help of her other 3 constituents that made it so fluid like it was. Yeah. So, if you have a problem with her, you got a problem with me.
But yeah, I thought the side characters were fun. I don't think there was too much of them. I don't think they leaned into it too much. And I think it was also good because it underlined the fact of like, man, this world has been devastated by the Droon, by the actions of Namari. And so yeah, I thought it was interesting. The side characters, I thought they were fun. There wasn't too much of them, there wasn't too little of them, and especially kind of the comic relief there was no designated comic relief character. And I think that was the thing that I appreciated, that because you see that all in a lot of Disney movies. There's a designated comic relief character that you're supposed to really like, and they're supposed to be like really funny, and it's primarily for the kids. I understand, but like, and I'm not saying that there's a specific character that I dislike, not like a snowman or something that is super annoying that I hate with every fiber of my being.
Frozen.
Yeah. But
let it go.
If there were, I would hate that character with all of my being. But it wasn't like that in this movie. And I think that was really good, that every character had a practical reason to be there. Because oftentimes you have certain characters who are just kind of there, and it's like the movie can be fine without this character. Like if Olaf is not in Frozen, I would have no issue.
Right.
Now, I understand that a lot of kids loved Olaf because kids are stupid. I understand. Like, kids don't have brains that work properly. So, it makes sense that a lot of them would like him. I also understand that there are fully formed and developed adults who also like him. Some adults are stupid too, so like that's understandable. But it wasn't like that in this movie. There wasn't a character that existed in this movie that was in it where I was just like, man, I hate when this character is on screen. Because it was definitely like that with Olaf, and especially in Frozen 2. I was like, bro, I don't care about this character whatsoever.
Super forced. No one cared about him. Well, except children cared about him.
Yeah, and that was not an issue in Raya at all. And I think that definitely made it better to me as I was watching it. Was that I actually cared about like these characters. Like you find out with the kid. The boat captain, the kid boat captain, that his parents, that this used to be his like his parents' business, his parents' boat, and the Droon got his family. With Big Man, you find out they got his family, and it's funny because the baby has her name on her name tag, and like the big guy, who's supposed to be kind of like this like big brutish warrior, is the only one that read the name tag on the baby's clothes. So it was kind of
one of the funniest moments of the movie.
It was like, wait, you guys didn't read the baby's name tag? Like,
and I'm the brute.
Yeah. So it was super funny. And so I really enjoyed the side characters. I think that they weren't superfluous. They added to the theme, of bringing the nations together, because each of the characters is from a different tribe, like from a different nation. And so it adds to the theme, it adds to the narrative, and it also adds weight to how drastic the situation is, where like you've got some people where their entire tribe, like an entire nation of people, are gone. So, like, yeah, I thought that was pretty good, because if you're watching some of the other parts, you'd be like, well, I mean, the world's not that bad, because, what was it, Spine, were the ones where they had, like, the marketplace or whatever, they looked like they were doing all right,
Yeah.
But you look at Talon, like, they
got messed up. Spine had it even worse.
Yeah. So
no, well, yeah.
No, yeah. I don't remember exactly who, like, from which nation everyone was from. I just know Hart was Raya and Fang was Namari. Like that's all that I remember. But yeah.
Why are they gonna blame us?
Characters. Yeah.
No, the side characters I thought were pretty great, well balanced as well, especially with the time they had with the movies. Like, look, let's take a look at the side characters. You have a lot of stereotypes that go with them, but they each had their own heart and reasons for doing what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And I thought that brought a lot of depth and the character growth for Raya as well as the movie progressed, because it brought a lot of dynamics to it. And it felt natural in the story. We meet Boyd with a boat. She's trying to get away from Namari for the first time, lands on a boat, recruits him because he has a boat. Natural, part of the story, makes sense. She recruits the baby and the monkeys because she needs them to help steal another gem from another place after they steal hers, and she's to chase them down. Natural, I love it. Even big guy from the Spine, the Brute, his progression felt even natural as she kind of persuades him to work with them to buy her time against Namari when she's trying to just save all their lives, really.
Yeah.
I felt that these side characters had, even though they didn't have as much screen time, their involvement in the story felt natural. And I really appreciate that. Sometimes when you watch a movie or read a story, too often you feel side characters are shoehorned in there for the sake of trying to fill a slot of just the characters in the story.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of stereotypes. They fit an archetype, whatever you're trying to do for your story. So many times you read something, it's just unnatural. It doesn't fit. This, I give praise to because it fit. It felt natural, and all the characters had a viable reason for being a part of the story.
Yeah.
Not some just what's the word for? Not just some random reason.
Like just like arbitrary.
Right, arbitrary or convenient for the plot. It all fit. Like the whole reason why the boy was letting him on the boat, he thought they were customers for a meal.
Yeah.
Which he feeds them, she pays him, and he's like, "You want to make some more money?" He's about his hustle. It makes sense why he's a part of the journey.
Yeah.
Later, we find out more about him, and he decides to work with them because he wants to save the world. I've seen stories where something similar happens, and he's like, "Oh, you're trying to save the world? I'll join you."
Yeah.
What? You don't even know what I'm doing. How did you even know? Are you a mind reader? Like, what do you mean? Like, no. It progressed in a great way, and it caused Raya to have to get people to trust her, which was part of the themes of the movie.
Yeah.
And I give props to the writing on that, because she's earning their trust over time while she's trying to learn what trust is for herself as well. I think the side characters are very well done in this movie. And they subvert expectations on a lot of parts, especially the Brute. And he calls out, he's like, "You didn't read the name tag? And I'm the Brute." I almost spit out my water when watching that. It was hilarious because it subverted expectations in a very organic way. We met him. Spine was already set up to be the most violent and brutish people among Kamandra, and he's the only one that took the time to get to know the baby. And I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was done organically too. Like, I loved it. So the side characters get an A+ from me, and they didn't feel overdone. They didn't feel underdone. It was just right. But we're going to talk about the main girl. Our catalyst, our ignition, our spark. We're going to talk about Namori.
It's Namari, but
this girl. Namari. Can't trust this bitch Namari. Hashtag. Can't. Don't trust nobody. Or hashtag no one trusts Fang. Hashtag they all hate us for starting the 5-year, the 100-year, or the 6-year Droon return. Hashtag Droon return. Hashtag they hate us. Hashtag I'm a dragon nerd too. Namari. I want to let you start this one off third. What do you think about Namari and her interactions?
Now here's the thing.
Oh, here we go.
I understand that if you are trained from the moment that you're a kid to not trust other people, and that other people have it better than you while your people are struggling.
Which they weren't, by the way.
I mean, they weren't after like the 6 years, but they initially were in. Heart had it the best. Like Heart, they had, bruh. It looked like paradise in Heart. Like they have fresh fruit trees. Like there was actual green. Because they addressed it in the movie. They were even like, the 6 years. Her mom was like, yeah, the 6 years has been rough for the other nations, but we've improved. We've been able to live. We've been able to grow and thrive. Now, what they did was some bullshit.
Oh, here we go.
I understand that you were told all this, but the thing that we've established is that the rest of the world is in dire straits at this point. I don't understand what Namari is. I didn't recall what plausible reason that Fang had to still be hunting down Raya. Like, what?
Well, because the reason why is because Raya stole the scroll that was shown to her in Namari's first encounter about Shisu. Because the theory was that Shisu was blown away, and so Namori was investigating what she was looking into. Nothing else, really. Until she was looking for pieces and stuff like that. So it started off as just, I want to investigate, but then when she found it was something, like, she really got involved.
Yeah.
Really got involved.
It was just weird to me that y'all, it was Fang's fault, okay? And more importantly,
100%.
It was Namari's fault that the Droon like came back the way that they did. They completely overtook the world, that the Dragon Gem was broken. It was Namari's fault. And there's a point in the movie where her mom is like the other nations don't trust us. The other nations don't like us. And Namari's like, yeah.
Of course they don't!
Because this is your fault!
It's your fault!
I'm like...
It's infuriating when you're looking at it because, like, first off, I'm glad that the movie acknowledged it. I'm glad they did, because if Fang was like, we're the gift to Kamandra, I would have thrown a table. But you got the mother of Namari saying, like, hey, I'm looking out for Fang because, look, all the others hate us because they blame us for the thing. And Namari's like, yeah, they do.
And the thing that's funny, Namari is like, they don't just blame us, they blame me. Like, I was there.
Blame me. Personally, I'm the one that started all of this shit. Mama, you didn't stop me from doing nothing. You pushed me to do it. But you did it for Fang. I'm hated across 4 other nations. What do you mean? Like, one day you'll be a great leader. What the fuck? No, Mom.
Like,
no.
What good is being a leader if the world is garbage? Like, what?
What good in the world if it's all stone, haunted by purple creatures that can't cross water? What, we gotta live in the ocean all our lives? The fuck you mean? Like, no. No. Here's the thing that gets me. So, like, making the Avatar comparison. In Legend of Korra, the Fire Nation made Zuko's granddaughter, forgot what her name is, was introduced in Legend of Korra as the new Lord of the new Fire Lord. Very progressive, by the way. Female Fire Lord. Love it. Awesome. And she made it a point to make sure that her nation would not be caught up in another war because of the century of violence her nation was specifically, directly the cause of. Didn't play no victim. She's like, I will not be a part of any attack that is unprovoked because of our nation's history. I am working to make that right and make the goodwill. She didn't say, oh, it's because of yada yada yada. No, she's like, yeah, the Fire Nation attacked everyone, killed a lot of people. We did a lot of mean stuff. She owned it. This is the problem I have with Fang. Since they want to make the Avatar comparison, Fire Nation owned their shit. They owned it at the end of the day. It was like, yeah, we kind of messed up, but we're gonna work to make it right. We acknowledge what we did, and we keep moving forward. Fang is like, I don't know why everyone hates us. Why do they blame us? Why do they blame us? They were going to steal it anyway. Bitch, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, you get the mother in there literally sitting there just like, the other nations have no reason to hate us. It's just unprovoked hatred. We're not the reason the Droon came back. And Amari's like, the other nations blame us.
Like, this is our fault. This is literally our fault.
And her mother's sitting there just like, it's not really our fault. Like, we were just looking out for the best thing.
It was like, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Like,
right, like, it's our country that we're looking out for. You should see it my way. And one day you will when you're a great leader like I am. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Playing this victim card like we hurt you. Like, heart hurt you. Like, this is what I don't understand about all the other pieces. Because when they came to Heart, they were saying, like, what, of course you're the most prosperous. You have the greatest weapon in history that protects you from the Droon. First off, all the Droon are dead. Ain't none of y'all being attacked by the Droon.
Yeah.
Ain't none of y'all being terrorized by the Droon. Ain't none of y'all just having a hard time with the Droon. Y'all governing your own sections of land.
Yeah.
Heart had nothing to do with any of that. None of that. So what are you mad about? It ain't like in Naruto where one Hokage got 8 Biju on his own and he's a superpower. It ain't like that. Because I can see why they wanted to split up the Biju to kind of make an equal amount of power. This was completely different. You need to tell me y'all got... Heart only had the dragon, the orb, the dragon orb, with one person against the drone. They ain't got no security. We already discussed that. They ain't got no military. We discussed that. Like they ain't got...
And it's not like they're... Like, this is the first time that they've called y'all, like, since. And y'all just gonna be like, no, you have it better than us. What changed? This is my question. What changed in the 6 years... that the Droon came back that made Fang prosperous? Because the only thing that I can think is that y'all just change y'all mindset. I'm typically not for, like, if you just change your mindset, you will get out of poverty, blah, blah, blah. Y'all niggas literally did that. That's what you did. You just changed your mindset. Prosperous. The world was worse, and you somehow improved your circumstances. That doesn't make any sense.
It don't make no sense because they were the leaders before they stole the orbs and the leaders afterwards. And you know what was crazy to me? He only invited him after he got a second bodyguard for the orb, his daughter. Like, that's when he's called people over. He could have been called people over. The dude's grown. Droon's been gone for 500 years. You could have been called him. This has been generation after generation after generation. And we got one guard.
Yeah.
And then you got 2. You decide you want to just go ahead and make a phone call? No, man. Fuck Fang. Because Fang want to act like they're the victims of this whole thing. Like, if the Droon go away, then what's going to happen to us? We need Shisu on our side because when this Droon goes away, they're all going to attack us. It's your fault. It's your fault. And you're sitting there like you're the victim.
And I'm like, bro, it was fear. It was that exact fear that caused this whole thing. And you ain't learned nothing. All right, cool. All right.
And this is why I'm like, the dragon should have been. It's like, y'all canceled.
Yeah.
Like y'all done. Like, y'all done. Like, look, yeah, we talked about trust and everything. Fang, you over here fucking up because Commando is supposed to be a united thing. You the only one here trying to fuck everybody up, trying to protect yourself. You done. You canceled. There ain't no more Commando. You know what? No more Fang either. We don't breathe fire, but we're breathing fire today. Like.
So, overall, what would you give the movie out of 5?
Out of 5, I'd give it probably a 3.5. The movie was okay. The movie was good. Animated gorgeously. The fight scene, the choreography was fantastic. I like the themes of trust. I like the themes of trust because it built towards that and it was earned. It wasn't forced. It wasn't something that came out of nowhere. And most of the moments in that movie, I never felt the moments came out of nowhere except for the line that came from Aquafina. I almost want to call it Fury again. Aquafina. Some of the dialogue was wonky. Some of the concepts were just Namori pisses me off with her victim blaming and shit with the whole you're just as much to blame as I am. No, I'm not. You had a crossbow pointed at Shisu. You are more to blame than me. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. Like, I don't... let me talk about that real quick. Like, Namori. One of the more dynamic characters. But you have the gall to tell Raya that, hey, Shisu's death is your fault as much as mine? Get the heck out of here. You had a crossbow pointed at her. I don't care about this whole trust thing. Like, look, Namori's, like, been trained to not trust people. People hate her because she caused the apocalypse and people that be turned to stone. But you had the crossbow pointed at her. It wasn't like you were putting it down and Raya shot early. You were about to pull the trigger and you were having second thoughts. And Raya tried to stop you. She should have went for your head. That's what she should have done. But she didn't. I think Raya missed. And I would have praised the movie. She said, I missed. I was going for your head or your leg. I used your gun instead, which shot Shisu. And Namori has the nerve to be, you're as much to blame as I am. Bitch, I I had the crossbow pointed at the dragon that could save the world. You did. The fuck you mean? Suck a dick. I don't care. Like, that's BS. BS. So, but she's still one of my favorite characters, though, because I do like her growth at the end. Anyway, so, movie overall, give it 3.5. I think Anne-Marie Tran did a great job as Raya. I think she gets too much crap because Last Jedi was not really well received. And, you know, there's people that I know that like that movie, and, you know, it's okay because some people have shit taste. And it just is what it is. But she did a phenomenal job voice acting. Only thing that would have changed is probably some writing things that happened in it, some story beats that would have happened, some directorial beats I would have probably changed just for the sake of the flow of the story. But overall, 3.5. Lord, what would you say?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
It was fun. It's not one I didn't necessarily walk out of the theater just wowed by it. It looked great, but again, it's what I expect from Disney movies. They are the Square Enix of animation. So, with that being said, yeah, it was a fun time. Saturday movie. I'm not watching it anytime soon again. I will probably watch it maybe, you know, like a year or so from now with a group of people who someone hasn't seen it. I'll be fine with that. But,
well, that's what Disney counts on because their premium service says fuck you to all you lonely asses at home. Like, let's be real. $30 to get the premium access. And I just don't understand that whole concept. $30 and
so the thing here is this: the $30 makes sense because the whole thing is if you're streaming it at home, you can stream it at home with like 5 other people, right? Or 2 other people or 1 other person. And the thing is, the average cost of a movie ticket for an adult is like $13, like $12 to $13. And some of that revenue goes to the theater, so I would say that you could probably like cut that in half. Like there's probably like $6 or so that goes to the releasing company, blah blah blah. If that's how much you're getting for like each sale of ticket, then it would make sense for them to be like, well, if we release this on the streaming service and you have to pay to watch it when it comes out on the streaming service and you have the ability to watch it with multiple people, then that could easily add up to like $30. Now, obviously that is Disney saying fuck you to lonely ass people because if someone who just wants to watch, like if I'm at home by myself and I just want to watch the movie, I gotta pay $30 to watch a movie. I might as well just go to the theater.
Might as well, shit.
Like I all I get is the ability to watch the movie. Like,
not download it either. Just watch it.
And a movie that's going to come out, a movie that's going to be streaming in like a couple months anyway. That's either going to be streaming or on DVD in a couple months anyway. So like, what is like that? That's ridiculous to me. That it's $30. Like if it's, and the thing is, I like going to a theater. Like I like theaters, right? Like I like watching movies in theaters. There's an experience watching them in theaters. If I'm watching something at home, it's a TV show or a DVD that I own, or I'm watching something on streaming. I'm not getting a movie theater experience at home. Like, bro, if I'm paying $30 to watch a movie that just came out, bro, that better be the greatest movie ever. Like that movie better improve my standard of living after watching it. Like that movie better raise the property value of my house.
Damn.
That movie better give me a raise at work. Like that movie had better be worth it. I'm paying $30 to watch that movie because that's ridiculous. Now, like I said, I understand the concept behind it, but that's wild to me. Now, this whole thing, though, brings up the question of when we look at the future of movies, this is kind of direction that it's going. With everyone and their mother creating new streaming services and now releasing premium content, exclusive content on those premium services, it is becoming much more. We're seeing more blockbuster movies, things that typically would only be released in theaters first. We're seeing more of that stuff released simultaneously on streaming services where you can purchase them for viewing yourself. You see it on Amazon. We've seen it on HBO, and this is becoming the norm.
Right.
And I think for me, like I said, I love theaters. This ain't going to work well for theaters.
No.
Like, theaters were already struggling. But back in, I believe it was back in February of 2020, AMC made the choice that they were going to refuse to play Universal films as, I believe it was Trolls World Tour was coming out. And they were going to be saying, essentially, because Trolls World Tour was released like on demand initially, and that movie made $100 million in video on demand rentals in the first.
That's disgusting.
$100 million. And the thing is, like, you compare that to the original Trolls, which made $116 million in the box office in the same amount of time at the box office, which, keep in mind, some of that money is going to the theater. So, I would argue that probably half of that is going to the theaters themselves. And so on video on demand, they basically just made double the money for probably less work. Much less overhead.
Yeah.
And so AMC made the decision that they were no longer going to be streaming Universal. Now, I said when this happened that AMC, that's more of a problem for you than it is for Universal. Because Universal very clearly wasn't hurting after that. Now, obviously, Universal releases other movies besides Trolls movies, which families are going to, pay for their kids to watch and preview and whatnot. But it is telling that they can release a movie on demand and make so much money.
So much money.
It's just and of course, like every major studio realized, wow, this might actually work. And of course, Disney, like one of the largest of them all, was like, well, we have a streaming service. We make movies. And so they were like, yeah, we're going to do it. So they've done it with Mulan. They've done it with Raya. Granted, Disney has not pulled their movies from theaters, or they don't have a spat with theaters, but Cruella was a recent premiere.
And that didn't do very well at all.
Well, mainly because nobody was clamoring for a Cruella origin story or a Cruella.
I mean, a story about a woman that wanted to shave 101 Dalmatians to make a coat. No one wanted that.
No.
No one wanted to feel for a villain that wanted to literally kill puppies. Cruella was never written to be liked. I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea.
Bro, her. So, and it should be noted that apparently in the movie they changed Cruella's name, like her original name is not Cruella, because they figured, it probably wouldn't be a great idea to try and make a sympathetic character whose name is literally Cruel. Her name is literally Cruel Devil. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing with Cruella de Vil, she was never meant to be sympathetic. I could see Maleficent being sympathetic.
This segment isn't even about Cruella, so I'm not even gonna go into it. We'll save that for another time
because Disney's on some BS with this whole.
Yeah, we'll talk about the sympathetic villains every time.
She's a cruel devil that wants to shave puppies. How do you want to root for that?
I do want to hear your thoughts as we close up on just the state of movies as streaming is becoming a viable option for premiering movies, blockbuster movies. What are your thoughts?
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about premiering the movies as I do now. I do not like that Disney is holding movies hostage. They're not holding movies hostage. They're charging a lot of money for movies to go on premium access. For movies that are just coming out as if you're going to the theater. I don't get the same experience at home as I do in the theater. Now, COVID's over, theaters are opening back up and everything, so things are a little different. However, paying $30 for a service I already have for one film that will be free in 2 months seems asinine to me, that of a concept. I'm not getting the same experience because I've talked to some people about this. We do the same thing with a movie theater. A movie theater, I had popcorn, a drink, and a big freaking screen with surround sound.
Yeah.
I don't have that at home. So when I'm paying for those tickets, $12 to $15 depending on your local theater, I'm paying for an experience. Now, streaming brings that experience home, but you're charging me the price that it would take me. You're charging me the price I would pay for all those things when I don't have those things.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when I'm seeing these premiere accesses for Disney Plus, I ignore them because first off, I know they're going to be free. I'm paying $6 a month for Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I pay an extra $20 to $30 to watch a movie that you've already told me you are going to put for free? I'm watching it on the same screen. I'm going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. So for me, the streaming that they're doing right now with these premiere access movies feels I know they're trying to make up money. I know they are. I believe there are just better, less greedy ways to go about it.
Yeah.
If I already have the service, charge me $10. I'd pay maybe $5 to $10. The reason why people go to the movie theater, like you said yourself, Lord, is for the experience. Yes, popcorn, tickets for you and your date, you're looking at $45. But when you go into the theater, you have a big old screen, great sound, and you have snacks that are prepared for you. Mm-hmm. It's an experience that you're paying for. If I'm already at home, why am I paying you extra money to have the same experience I already have at home? So for me as a consumer, it's you're not giving me anything new. Especially when I already know you're going to release this for free in a month or two.
Yeah.
Like you would if it went to theaters. I'm not getting anything else for it. So I feel bamboozled when I see this. When you're asking me, oh yeah, you have our service already, but to get this, you got to pay extra. Disney's losing a lot of money on theaters. I get it. Yeah. I get it. But this is not the right way to do it. To me, it's not the right way to do it. I'd say charge them $10. At the very least, charge them $10 to see it early, because I paid for $10. I'm not paying for $30. Because with $30, again, I got popcorn, 2 tickets, sound, and a big screen. Something I didn't have at home. Mm-hmm. So, moving forward, I think the future of this whole Disney premiere stuff, I think is going to continue to blow up in their face. Cruella could have done very well. Raya could have done very well. Mulan was never going to do well. That movie sucked. But it could have done better had theaters been open. Now, there was a pandemic, so they did what they could, but they're not adjusting to the new rules that are available. And I don't believe that their model worked to begin with. I believe that when they did this whole thing, as far as charging people what they were charging, it was reactive because the market had to change a little bit because people couldn't go to the movie theater. So how do we make up that money?
Right.
And people still paid it. Don't get me wrong. People still paid it. Families still paid it. So it is what it is. But that's not the case anymore. And we're still doing the same practices if it is. And they're seeing it fail with their new release of Cruella, with their subpar returns on Raya. And it's going to continue that way until they figure out a different way to accommodate those that are at home and those that go to the theater. I paid $45 to go see it in the theater. That's straight up. Because I get the experience of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay that same price being at home when I could easily watch something like Netflix or Hulu. And with streaming services as a whole, Netflix was the pioneer in this with the simple idea of, can you watch all these great shows and movies all on one streaming service at the comfort of your own home for a low monthly fee.
Yeah.
Now we're at the point to where every company, every studio has their own streaming service. It's like paying for cable again. Mm-hmm. Now you have to shop for which services you're going to be using because they don't have everything anymore. Netflix, love them, and I also hate them. It's now brought to the point where they have to produce their own content to make sure there's enough stuff to watch to justify their prices. And their prices are going up. And it makes sense why. They have to make more content because less stuff's available. Because every movie that they're trying to get is being claimed by the other studios that are also making their own streaming service. Mm-hmm. You know how many movies they lost when Disney Plus came to be?
Yeah.
They lost a ton of movies that they just couldn't use anymore because Disney Plus came to be. Mm-hmm. Hulu, same thing for regular television shows. HBO Max was a huge hit to Netflix as far as the shows they could show. And HBO Max came with the heat when they brought movies like HBO Max is doing it the right way. You pay for your subscription and you get the movie before everyone else does exclusively.
Right.
And they have made a ton of money doing that because everyone jumps on their service. Snyder Cut. No one knew, like HBO threw money at it and they made a ton of money with people getting subscription. Godzilla vs. King Kong, same thing. Mm-hmm. They didn't charge extra for these movies. Mortal Kombat, as much as I didn't like that movie, people went and watched that movie and so many people got the HBO subscription. Yeah. HBO made a ton of money. And they're still making more money, even though they're not charging extra for these movies. And Disney needs to get on board with that. Because if I'm already paying for your service, I shouldn't be paying more to watch a specific movie.
Yeah.
HBO Max is a great example of what you can do with the material that you have. They have these new movies that should have been in theaters, but it was an event, and people literally bought the subscription to get these events. And they keep them because they know they can watch these movies, and they have other content too, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to these big blockbusters, they're not charging people extra to watch it.
Yeah.
They're encouraging you to watch it as soon as possible. Tell your friends about it. Tell them to get HBO Max. Tell them to get on this platform.
Right.
And the thing is that Disney's worried about the HBO's not, is HBO isn't losing money. They're making more money with this practice.
Yeah.
While Disney is losing money.
Yeah. And I think that's the major thing is that there needs to be a balance, right? There's just this level. It just seems weird to me that this company that is already making a crap ton of money has made this. It's an asinine decision, like you said, to jack up these prices to see a movie that you could probably see for like $20. That's just weird to me.
It's weird.
And my thing is, like, people are more likely to sit down and watch the movie, even if they aren't super interested in it, if it's new and $5.
Right. You don't have to charge $30. You could just charge $5 or $10, and people would buy $5 or $10.
Yeah,
they could justify
that would be reasonable. Put it $9.99, $4.99. People would buy that. Like
Amazon Prime does that, and they make a killing for renting the movie for 24 to 72 hours for between $1 and $10 for a movie rental.
Right,
a movie rental. They make a killing off of that because I'd rather spend the extra $4 or $5 for the 24 hours or however much time I get it with to watch a movie, but it's low enough to where I can justify it. $4 to $5, okay, yeah, that's a burger at Burger King, whatever. You know, not 30. 30, I gotta think about. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, and I think, and at the end of the day, it's Disney's decision, man. Like they're gonna do what they want to do because they have the power to do that. That's just kind of like the way that it lands. I do believe that they're gonna make an adjustment at some point because I don't think that this is going to be viable for them in the long term, charging $30 for the premiere of a movie. But what I can say is that the thing that I know is that people do love theaters. People do like the theater experience. Not everyone loves it. It's not something that it's not for everyone. I understand not necessarily wanting to go into this public place, but there is something about, that first time that the portals start opening up in game and the theater is going wild, right? There's something about when you watch a movie and there's that comedic line that hits at the right time and everyone is just kind of like laughing around you. There's something about, being in the movie when the theater, a scary movie is happening and the girl in front of you is whimpering like a wounded dog. True story. That's the type of stuff that I go to the theater for, right? And I don't want theaters to go away. I don't want theaters to dry up. And the sad fact is, for movie theaters, I'm seeing more and more of them close down. I'm seeing more, like, especially smaller ones that aren't a part of these large conglomerates. They're disappearing, and it's sad. I personally don't like AMC. I personally despise AMC because of them, one of the theaters that I actually really enjoyed is no longer here in town. But I don't want them to dry up because they are one of the largest chains of movie theaters in the country. And I don't want to see them fade away. Unlike, there are a lot of different companies that are on my shit list that I absolutely despise, that I would not care if they went under. Walmart is one of them. Amazon is one of them.
Walmart.
But as much as I despise AMC, I don't want them to disappear. And I really hope that they can turn it around. They can make some smart decisions and begin to adjust with what is currently happening. But who knows? All I can say for you, if you're listening, support your local theaters. Go and see movies. Go check them out.
Please do.
Expand your world.
Please do, because it allows us to talk more about this stuff.
Yeah. But that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all we're going to say about that, because it is time to wrap up. We thank you for listening to us, for being here for us to ramble. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining. We hope to see you soon, because, yeah.
We love doing this.
Yeah.
And we know you guys love listening.
So, with that being said, I am Lord Third, your number one trash player, Garbage Goat, Jackie's Bay. And he is...
I'm the king of dreams. I'm the ranger, no better than a stranger. And we are...
The Sly Guys, delivering the hottest of hot takes on all things nerdy and culture. And we are out.